Welcome to Marvel Champions Podcast, a podcast about Marvel Champions, the card game. I'm your host, Scott, and with me, as always, my co-host, Ryan.
Hey, buddy. Welcome to the new year of Marvel Champions Podcast. It's going to be great.
2025 is now upon us, Ryan. We got about, 6 weeks? 5 weeks? 5 or 6 weeks until the next box. I'm getting really excited. Excited for some S.H.I.E.L.D. heroes and villains. It sounds like the community's getting excited too. But to fill in some of those gaps, we haven't heard any news since like the first week of December. So we're still waiting on the fifth villain and whatever the first hero is. So we'll see if they go in silhouette order or if they jump around.
Well, my brother, I think we are going to do a little bit of verses because the people seem to like it.
They did. We're working on a couple of new things for 2025, but we thought we'd stick with some tried and true.
Yeah, that's right. So this time we have both brought a set of matchups, so this should be exciting. And we're going to do aspect cards again. No hero cards this time. Trying to balance it out a little bit. We did a couple of hero cards in the front end. So why don't we get started? Should I start off with my matchup?
Well, Ryan, I think I've got some momentum, so I think I'm going to just shift right into mine real quick. I kind of alluded to one of my two cards. I brought two to battle it out, and you haven't seen these yet. I guess you've seen the cards, but you don't know which two. Two I brought are protection cards. And to duke it out tonight...
Okay, all right.
Sound the bell. We have Momentum Shift and What Doesn't Kill Me. So Ryan, which one do you want to take?
All right.
Which one do you want in your corner?
Why don't I'll take Momentum Shift. I'll start it off. That's the oldie.
Okay.
So, Momentum Shift, it is a protection event, 2 costs, an attack, hero action, heal 2 damage from your hero. And then arrow, deal 2 damage to an enemy. Have a seat. Colleen Wing. That's the flavor text right there.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely looks like she is doing some serious martial arts on a hand member, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just say it. I mean, we're all thinking it, but hand, Daredevil confirmed. Next box, Daredevil right there.
Oh, Daredevil confirmed. I know, even though this
confirmed.
card
Right
came
there.
out like at the starting box.
Yeah, I had to look at it. I think this came out in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Momentum Shift. When this card was released, did it come out in the original box? I feel like it did.
I literally just said it came out with Doctor Strange.
I might have to look that up. I know. You said Doctor Strange, but it's been in the card pool for so long that sometimes I forget. I will have to say, when this card came out, I liked it. I liked being able to heal. There wasn't a whole lot of good healing options early in the game, but I will say I never was a big fan of the 2 damage. If I was to play this card, it was healing was the number one thing, and the damage was just kind of a bonus, rather than I feel like it's supposed to be the other way around.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of 2s in this, Ryan. 2 cost, 2 heal, 2 damage. Do you think the 2 cost is on par for the 2 heal and the 2 damage?
That's a great question. For the 2 costs for 2 damage, terrible. 2 costs for 2 healing, not great. Both of them together, probably it is, but it doesn't feel like it. I don't know how best to describe it, but if I said 2 for 4 damage, I'd say, yeah, that's just not bad for an aspect card. but for some reason it just feels different. Like it's not as impactful, but it is. It still is impactful. You're still healing too, and you're still dealing too. That's good.
Yeah, see, I like that part of it. I like that you get the heal and you get a little bit of damage, where it's not just like a straight heal. Because sometimes those heal cards to me feel a little wasteful. I know certain heroes probably more impactful, but I generally don't play a lot of healing cards. But I guess protection, there are certain heroes that want to stay in hero form.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of healing in this game because I think the built-in alter ego is your main source of healing, and that's where you need to go if you need it. But it is nice to have a little bit of healing. I've noticed for heroes that have that ability, say like an Ant-Man, it's incredibly helpful to make them that much stronger.
I agree. Any hero that can have free healing or very cheap healing, I think for me, I tend to like them a little more overall.
Yep, yep. They have a little bit of staying power in games I play.
Yeah. In cost reduction, you're only looking really at like power protection. You can play it for the single resource card or a helicarrier, right?
Yeah, unless you're somehow able to have the aggression card, martial prowess. That's the only other way, but that's going to be a very rare, very specific case.
Yeah. All right, Ryan. Any last comments on momentum shift?
I think I'm good for the moment.
Just a crazy side note, Ryan. After editing our end of year episode recap, which you should go listen to if you haven't, I've determined that I say, all right, Ryan, a ton.
That's true. It's funny when I listen back to our episodes, there are like things that I hear that I'm just like, man, I say that a lot. Like, I think I say that a lot.
Well, it's good that you're thinking, Ryan, because what doesn't kill me makes me stronger.
Okay. I see what you did there. All right.
But that's the card I brought to challenge momentum shift. It is a protection, 2-cost event. Now, this one does have a requirement, Ryan. It has a physical resource requirement. And for anybody that may not know, while paying for this card, you have to spend the listed resource. Even if you could play it hypothetically for free, you still have to pay that physical resource. And it's a hero action. Heal 2 damage from your hero. And then arrow. Ready your hero. Boom.
Nice.
Now, one thing we didn't really talk about with your card, Ryan, is we do have to talk a little bit about valid target. Can't play either of these cards if you are at full health. So that is one thing to keep in mind. You would have to have at least one sustained damage or more to play either of these cards. But
now, if you only have 1 damage, does that count?
You could heal 1 damage. You couldn't go over your cap unless you have a card that pushes you over your cap. But it is a valid target. It would be similar to like if there was only 1 thwart on a scheme and it said, thwart 2 from a scheme, you could still play it because it has a thwart to be a valid target for the card. You just wouldn't get the full max.
I feel like at one time it wasn't that way.
I feel like there was a group of people in the community that thought you couldn't do it. Like, in their mind, if it says heal 2 damage with a cost arrow, then if you couldn't heal 2 damage, then you couldn't fulfill the cost.
Yeah.
But then you get into like weird things with like damage, like if for momentum shift, if you didn't, well, I guess that one comes after the arrow, but if it was like deal 5 damage and then arrow, I want to say there's like a weird Adam Warlock card that we had a rules corner about. And then it was like, arrow, do this thing, or you can do this thing. And it was like, but if they have 3 health, I technically can't do 5. Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. You can't have to deal 5 damage in order to do something.
As long as the game state is changing when you're able to do it.
With a valid target, yes.
Yes. So I feel like we actually did this recently. At least one of those has to be a valid target. But because of the arrow, the first one has to be. So like if you didn't have a valid target for damage for some reason, you would still be able to play the card because you could heal in theory.
So
right?
What doesn't kill me gets a little even more kind of mucky on that one, because like you would have to be exhausted and have sustained at least 1 damage in order to play this card. Because if you're ready, you're technically
kill me?
Not a valid target. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a great question. If you're not exhausted, but you want to just heal, can you play What Doesn't Kill Me?
I don't think you can. I don't think you're a valid target for the card.
Even though you were a valid target for the prerequisite?
I think so. I think in this particular case, you have to be a valid target for both of those actions, unfortunately. And I could be way wrong, and people can tell me I'm wrong.
You could be way wrong.
Yeah.
But I will say that majority of the time for both of these cards, you likely can probably heal, and you definitely are wanting to ready. That's why you're playing What Doesn't Kill Me.
Yeah, and that was going to be some of my defense for this one, why I think it's slightly better. I think this is a very good matchup. I think they both have some good things, but with What Doesn't Kill Me, there is some versatility with the ready, because if you have a higher thwart value than your attack, you can thwart, or you could technically flip down and heal more, or you could play some type of defensive card since we're talking protection.
Mm-hmm.
Like a card that would make the villain attack or something out of normal sequencing.
Yeah, I think overall that readying your hero benefit is just more versatile, and thwart, attack, possibly even do more damage than momentum shift. But I will say adding the requirement on the car I think was a good design choice, because I feel like it balances with momentum shift. So it's not like why would you ever play momentum shift? But because it has the requirement, it does add a little bit more of momentum shift is more of a possibility.
And I think even though there's that requirement, there's still most of the time you should have at least a wild or a physical resource to use for it.
Yeah. I will say personally, I have seen myself using What Doesn't Kill Me a lot more than momentum shift. I haven't played momentum shift in a while.
I would agree. And Ryan, I failed to read the flavor text. When I get out of here, you're gonna get it.
Oh, and momentum shift is gonna get it, because if I had to vote right now, are we voting on who's the winner?
Vote.
It's gonna be What Doesn't Kill Me.
What Doesn't Kill Me.
Yeah. I like momentum shift. I like what it does. I wish there were more cards in the other aspects that have a similar feel to them. Just the readying with What Doesn't Kill Me, even with the requirement, I've had times where I couldn't play it because of that requirement. I'd still play What Doesn't Kill Me. I think what you said, the versatility of it is really good, especially in protection. You kind of need sometimes you need more thwart than you need damage.
Yeah, I think this one came down to the ready. A ready is greater than 2 damage. Truly.
Yep. Well said. Well said. All right. Well, I've got the next matchup. These are actually 2 newer cards. There's kind of been a wave of this style of card design by the designers. In fact, these two cards came in the same wave, the most recent wave, that is. And the first one is Squared Off Leadership, and the other one is actually a winner from our awards, the protection card Come Get Me Bub.
Nice.
Which one do you want, Scott?
I went out to go look at these on Marvel CDB, and neither of them have images yet, so I'm gonna have to look at them somewhere else.
I know what they are. Well, one of them has, I think, Wolverine. The other one has someone else. It's like a face.
It's a face. I think it's M. M was a ally for the same character, Kit, and Recon.
Very possibly.
I think it's M, but I've got to find it. All right, which one do I want? I think I know which one you like more, so I will take the one that I am probably going to be stuck with, which is Come At Me Bub.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, let me grab it. That came out with Kurt Wagner. Now,
That's
Come
right.
At Me Bub. So, Come At Me Bub is a zero-cost protection card. Hero action, discard cards from the encounter deck until you discard a minion. Put that minion into play engaged with you. Heal 3 damage from your identity and give your identity a tough status card.
Ooh.
It's pretty good. Like the heal, 3 heal plus a tough. That's some high value right there, Ryan.
I know we were just talking about healing, and here we are, another card that heals, and even more than those other ones, and for cheaper cost.
Yeah, but is the cost of having a minion in front of you worth 3 damage and a tough?
That is the question.
That's the
sir.
question, but I won't spoil that yet, Ryan. Let's hear the challenger. I guess I'm the challenger. You're
the other card.
The other card.
The other one is Leadership Event Squared Off. It's a tactic, 0 cost, hero action. Discard cards from the encounter deck until you discard a minion. Put that minion into play engaged with you. Arrow, play an ally from your hand, reducing its cost by 3.
It's pretty good.
As you notice, our verses generally have themes. In this case, it's the grabbing a minion theme. There technically is an aggression one of these, but I left it off because that's an older card.
Yeah, 3-way, Ryan. That's a versus we've not treaded into those waters yet, so we'll have to save that for another episode.
Well, and I'm assuming that there'll be a justice version of these one day.
All right.
So we might revisit.
So,
Scott, tell me, how good is Come Get Me Bub?
It's pretty good. I was going to point out they're very similar in that they discard. So you do discard, which to me I think is a unforeseen cost, right?
Yes.
Both of these do have the potential to whiff. There is no more minions. Card's dead. And it can be a really bad minion. But the silver lining is that with both cards, they are put into play. So any wind revealed effects would not go off, but you potentially could deal with some quick strike.
That is true. Quick strike would be an enemy to this because it would immediately get rid of your tough. Thankfully, you would have tough.
Would it though?
I guess that's true. I guess it'd probably hit
the minion
before...
would quick strike first, yeah, and then you would heal and then give yourself a tough. Because I think part of putting that minion into play wouldn't finish until after the quick strike finished. Because you wouldn't have fulfilled the cost.
Yeah, because I guess if it engages you, that means it would activate its quick strike. Well, I don't know. Would you can finish the card first?
To me, you would finish everything that is involved with a minion engaging you. And when that is fully done, you have met everything to the left of the arrow. That's how I would play it. Oh no, the FFG police are breaking in right now, Ryan. Shh.
Oh no.
Dang it,
Oh no.
closet. Oh, they're here to give
You
me
gotta watch out for them.
an award, Ryan. I'm a deputy now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I did that one right. They gave me a little badge. It is a sticker, but it is a badge. So.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I think this one has a lot of positives. I mean, you never want to get a bad minion, but 3 health and a tough is a very powerful thing. And I think, kind of compare it with another card. Yeah, it's very similar to Spider-Woman's card. Her containment immunity, is that what it is?
Sure.
Sure, we'll go with that. It's a 2 cost, and it heals 3 and gives her a tough status card. So it's doing the same stuff, but for less costs. Well, I guess it's a minion rather than 2 cost.
Yeah. And I think for some heroes that want minions out, this is probably a little more viable, or this type of card, because they're both really doing the same thing.
Yep.
Than some other ones that maybe can't deal with minions as well.
Yeah, it's definitely this card is not created equal for certain heroes. But the question is Squared Off a better card?
Is Squared Off a better card?
That's the question. Now this one, same thing, throwing a minion in, but the benefit, reducing an ally cost by 3, that's pretty good. That's Professor X right off the bat. That's a 1 cost Nick Fury. That's a lot of times a free signature ally, because a lot of them are 3 cost. That's pretty good.
Yeah, when you were talking about this one, it makes me think of, is it Meditation? You get to exhaust your alter ego, reduce the next card by 3. I know that one has a little more versatility because it's not just allies, but I feel like it's a little bit similar in that vein. Reducing by 3 for an ally is pretty good, because that's generally where I struggle with some allies, is their cost. So it would make me more willing to play certain ally cards that I normally wouldn't think about.
Yeah. I think I've played this card and it's been incredibly beneficial to reduce the cost by 3, especially if you can get an ally that can handle minions pretty easily. But I have seen it not work because I just simply don't have an ally in my hand. That's its biggest flaw. You gotta have that ally.
Yeah, it is a dead card if there's no valid target of an ally in your hand.
Yeah. Which is definitely, I think it's a pretty big, not error, but just a kind of a weakness of this card. Other than that, though, I think it's a very solid leadership card that can be played in a lot of decks.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good one to use or like look at for some leadership decks. I was in my mind thinking of another way of using this card, but I think I might be wrong. Yeah.
You probably are.
I totally was. I was trying to see if Jorge Stacy was, if you could stack some events, or some allies, but they're only events.
Oh, you can, for George Stacy, you can do that. Gotcha.
Yeah, trying to think about any heroes or anyone that has cards that say, play that as if it was in your hand, because in essence, it's part of your hand.
I think, give me a second. Let me look at a particular card real quick.
Is Black Panther Ally, is that a event, or is that any card?
I believe it's an event. I can tell you for sure in a second. Black Panther ally. It is event, blue event.
Yeah. Wow.
But let me check the card I'm thinking of. You could potentially use it as a combo with MedLab.
Oh, is
Oh,
that
wait,
the one
hold
where they
on.
go lay on the stretcher and then you can play them?
Yeah, but now I just saw the glaring issue with
Oh.
that. That is a failure. Um, it is a alter ego action. Exhaust MedLab. Play the ally here as if it was in your hand. It enters play exhausted, and unfortunately, squared off is a hero action.
Boo. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so that's a failure too. All right.
Good job, Ryan. Woo!
Hey, you know what? All day, baby.
All right, Ryan. Do you think we'll see more of this put a minion into play style of card?
I hope so. I like the cards that have a reduced cost with a different modifier, like adding a minion or adding a side scheme or the villain attacks you or thwarts. I like those cards because it creates some different opportunities, I feel like, for the game and for certain characters. I know I think it's protection. We didn't talk about it for Come Get Me Bub, but I think protection. No, I'm thinking of aggression. Aggression is lying weight. Where, oh, you know what? Look at me. I'm having some deck ideas all through head. Aggression has line weight, which does damage when a minion comes into play, but protection also has one like that. Not called line weight. It is called, wait for it, anticipation. You can ready your hero when you engage a minion.
Is that the Hawkeye art card?
Yes. So you could play that off with Come Get Me Bub. I don't know if Leadership has one like that. I'm trying to remember if it does, and nothing's coming to mind.
No, I think the only preparation for leadership is the rapid response.
Yeah, we need to, come on, FFG, help us out here.
Hashtag leadership preparation needed. Preparation H.
Preparation L for leadership. Yeah. So I think ultimately, I think I'm kind of leaning this way. I think everyone's leaning this way. Come Give Me Bub is the better version of these two. I think because of what it does, it can always hit in general, more often at least than Squared Off, and it's got some preparations to help back it up to prep for.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I think overall, Come Get Me Bub is the more consistent, better card. However, I do think that Squared Off can have some fun interactions if you have the right allies that have certain, like, when played from your hand or when they enter play or whatever, and they have some cool effects.
Agreed.
You can double dip a little bit, and I like that.
Absolutely agreed. So, I mean, it'd be really nice to play this and for one cost and get a Nick Fury out. That's a pretty good swing. So,
yeah. Then you get to draw 3 more cards, right?
yeah.
Pretty good.
It is pretty good.
All right. Well, that's a versus, Ryan. 2 more matches in the books. This pay-per-view episode.
Yes. And people, please write in. Give us some of your verses. Let us talk about them. Let's put them to the test. Challenge them. Because there's quite a bit of card pool, and we can't think of all the matchups. But if you've got one, send it our way at marvelchampionspod@gmail.com. We're waiting to hear from you.
That's right. And make sure you give Ryan the bad one and me the good one, so I always win.
Hey now. Hey now, you know what? I appreciate an underdog. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay. All right. As always, if you want to go from a chump to a champ, listen to the Marvel Champions podcast. Thanks for listening. See ya.
See you later.
Hashtag leadership protection needed. Protection?
Leadership
Hold on.
protection.